Hi everyone, this video will teach you how to use the digital zine template if you're making a small 8-page zine. The first thing you want to pay attention to is the fact that there are labels for the specific page numbers at the top of the slide here, as well as the bottom of the slide. So for example, if you are starting with your front cover, then you want to start with this square over here, right? And then you would write whatever the title of your zine is. So let's say you're titling your zine, The Legacy of Slavery. You would obviously make it way prettier than what I'm making right now. But that's, there you go. And then maybe you want to add an image there so that you have a visual for your front page. Then you would move on to page 1. So page 1 is at the top right-hand corner here. And you'll notice that pages 1, 2, 3, and 4, the text orientation is upside down, right? And you'll also notice this here in this example template. And so the reason that the text and all of the content on the top 4 pages are upside down is that the zine is gonna, when it gets printed, it's gonna get folded hot dog style, right, along these dotted lines, such that all of the text will then be correctly oriented and ordered in the right direction. Okay. And notice that in general, you don't want to cross over the black lines because you don't want your content to get printed incorrectly, right? Let's say that the zine, if you're printing something and the images and the text are not, like aligned correctly, and then it's spilling onto the next page, but then the next page doesn't actually face the other one. You don't want to mess that up and then have your zine be, have part of your content on one page and then the other part in another page. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to flip your text and content upside down so that on pages 1 through 4, you have the correct, digital format so that it gets printed the right way. Okay. So let's say, for example, here you're writing, the prison system is one example of the legacy of slavery today. You would obviously write something way more specific and eloquent than what I have, right? But here we go, right? So here I created my text and you will see that it's not upside down quite yet, right? So you want to make sure that you've selected the text box. You'll know that it's selected because it's highlighted in blue. The borders are highlighted in blue, right? You're going to click Format up at the top here. And then you're going to click Format Options. You're going to get the sidebar menu here on the side. Under Size and Rotation, there's a flip button. And so you're going to click this Flip Vertically button. And so now your entire content has been flipped upside down. And then you could play around with it, right? It kind of takes a little bit of, maybe you want to turn your head, maybe you want to imagine it a certain way. If you have, if you have a computer, you could turn your computer, a laptop, you could turn your laptop upside down to make sure that it looks the way that you want it to look like. And then let's say you want to add an image, right? So the same thing, let's go here to Google and I want to add an image of Angela Davis. So I'm going to click on the image. I'll click copy image, go over here back to the zine. I'll paste my image on here, make it the correct size. Let's say I want to add this on page 4. So you see I have the image under the correct boundaries of the page, but again, I need to flip this image upside down. So, once you have the format sidebar open, you don't have to open it again, but it would be the same thing, right? You want to highlight the image, click Format if it's not there yet, Format Options, right? And then you'll get this toolbar here. I'm going to click Flip Vertically, and ta-da, my image has now been flipped vertically. If you're struggling to do this, I advise you to look at the student examples. These were some zines that some students from last year created, and their zines were all formatted the right way. You'll also notice that on these pages here, the students did actually have content and text that spilled onto the next page, but this was okay because pages 1 and 2 face each other. And so when the zine got printed, nothing got cut off. However, at the time of printing, there were some things that were a little bit off. And so you had some images that were showing up in the wrong pages, or, images that were showing up partially. The best thing to do would be to make sure that I look over your zine before you submit, so that I can make sure that things look correct. Or the other thing you can do is give me edit access, and I will make sure to format things the correct way if you've made a few mistakes here and there. That way, when we print the zines, it will look really, really good. And again, the idea with zines, right, is that they can be easily distributed. And so you could, imagine yourself handing these out at, a walkout or a protest or a march, or, at Love Fest or one of the other fests that we have at school once we are back in in-person school. All right, so that was my tutorial for today. I hope that this was helpful. Please reach out if you have any other questions, and have fun with your zines.